We're very pleased to gather everyone together here at Holy Spirit Academy today to welcome Mary Ann Kuarski, who is our speaker at our Harvest Banquet, and to give a general update on the Harvest Banquet. I would like us to begin this time together with prayer in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Spirit. Amen. Come, Holy Spirit, fill the hearts of thy faithful, and kindle the fire of thy love. Send forth thy Spirit, and they shall be created. We now shall renew the face of the earth. Let us pray, O God, who didst instruct the hearts of thy faithful by the light of the Holy Spirit. Grant us in that same Spirit to be truly wise and ever to rejoice in his consolation. Through Christ our Lord. And may the divine assistance remain always with us, and the souls of the faithful departed. Through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Like I mentioned, the main occasion for this special time taken out of our school day at Holy Spirit Academy is to welcome Mary Ann Kuarski here. And I actually asked the Harvest Banquet coordinator, Meredith Boldeshar, if I could introduce her personally. She might not remember me from this, but I remember her from a time when I was working in Iowa. Students may not know this, but I served the church in Iowa for 5 years as a pastoral associate. And what that means is that in Iowa there was a pre-shortage in the Archdiocese of Dubuque, and what they needed was people who could manage administrative tasks at parishes while the priests could handle the sacramental ministries so that the churches could stay open. It was a needful ministry at a point where the churches were still very eager to stay open, and of course it's a better thing to keep the churches open. Our blessed Lord is more present in communities, and churches can stay open, and so it was something I was very proud to do. At that same time, I was starting a family. We moved to Iowa expecting our second, and we moved up here when I started Holy Spirit with 5. And so our family was growing quite a bit at that time. In the Archdiocese of Dubuque, well, there's wonderful people there for sure. It's definitely more progressive even than this Archdiocese. And one of the things that happened to me on many occasions working for the church, sometimes even coming from religious, was disdain or shock or surprise at my extremely convicted pro-life position and also my openness to family, which was something that was really fundamental to the joys of my marriage with my wife and why we got married. Because we really desired to have a big family and love children, and we're excited to welcome new souls into the world. And so there were trials, and there were challenges, and there were sometimes even insults that were directed at me or my wife for apparently not being in control of our family, which of course God is in control of our family and not us. But there was an evening of consolation and relief when the excellent Archdiocese of Dubuque County Right to Life invited Mary Ann to speak at their large banquet in Dubuque. And what I remembered was from that evening, after a period of struggling to find acceptance in that place where I was raising a new family, was a woman who completely understood where we were coming from and was able to really speak frankly and transparently and joyfully and humorously about the ups and downs of family life. And as a young father who felt somewhat isolated, accepting these children into the world in a place where the church was really struggling, it was a memory that I hold very dear. So anyway, you guys are really blessed to meet this lady. If you've seen a Prolife billboard, you can thank her. I had a thought at Mass actually. Who here is after the third or fourth child in their family, so they're further down the line? Quite a few of you? Yeah, so if you're like the fifth or something, or the fourth, a few of you. Well, you have to understand that parents need encouragement to have big families. And we need some things that help us see, like, okay, we can do this. And sometimes it's as simple as seeing a billboard that says, life is precious, or every child should be protected. Every child is a heartbeat. You know, there's a variety of simple things that are fundamental reminders about the sanctity of human life. And I'll speak for myself and say that those billboards have made a difference in my life. So keep that in mind as you're raising your own families, wherever wherever you are, that there are people who have done this and who have gone before you and have raised beautiful families and are doing things to sustain the church and the culture of life. And we're very honored to have Mary Ann Kuarski be a wonderful leader in this respect. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Lane. I didn't know I was going to be speaking or saying anything, and I haven't spoken for a while because my husband and I have been in a little accident and had some health complications. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life first and why Mr. Lane could relate to me and why he knew I probably liked kids or else I was crazy. But I married my wonderful Polish Prince John, and we have 13 kids in all. So we have 7, as my kids would say, 7 by tummy and 6 by airport or adoption. So we have 1 from the Philippines, 2 from Vietnam, 1 black Vietnamese, 1 full Vietnamese, 1 Mexican American, and 1 black American. I think we took up 2 pews when we used to go to church every day. In fact, when my kids got older, they got really embarrassed that we had too many kids. And one son said, I don't know why we have to all go to church together. I feel like a parade when we walk in. Everyone's looking at us. At any rate, people often ask us, well, how did you do it? How did you do it with so many kids? And I said, well, I don't know. We had a modest house, lived northeast Minneapolis, a block from St. Charles Borromeo Church, and we put, sometimes we put the thumbsuckers and bedwetters in one room, and we have the kids that were teenagers in another room, and those that were troubled were close to Dad and I, so we could take care of it. So it's amazing what big families do. I myself am an adopted kid. I came from probably one of the last orphanages here in the Midwest when I was 9 months old, and came into a wonderful Italian, thank heavens, Catholic family who taught me the love of life and family. But we were a small family, and I used to envy my Italian cousins and all their big brothers and sister families, and back then they didn't have as many bunk beds as kids slept together, and I just thought, oh, I really love that. I want that. Someday when I get married, I want to have a bunch of kids so they can have as much fun as I can see my cousins having. And so when I would tell that story to my kids, I'd say, we're having all these kids. They'd say, why can't we have a new car? All we do is drive these dumb vans that are secondhand. And I said, well, we were really going to get a new car. We were going to get a Cadillac. But then we got you instead. At any rate, I'd say, well, we're really doing this for you. And they'd quit doing it. And now that my kids are older, they're the best friends of each other. They take care of each other's kids. They get together for socials, for parties. It's really wonderful to see how well my kids get together. So that's a little bit about who we are. And as I say, we have kind of a mixed family of special needs. They were all special needs. Or we were told that they were special needs. But in a way, as my husband would say, all kids are special needs. So it was a blessing to us. Whatever we thought we were doing to help one of God's children came back for us 500-fold, and it was a deep blessing for our family to have a large family with so many kids. And if Father was here, he will know one of my sons was ordained a few years after him and is now teaching and a spiritual director at St. John Vianney Seminary. So if any of you have any inklings to go to the seminary, you might look up Father Joe Kuharski. But anyways, so that's a little bit about me. In my spare time, I couldn't stand the thought that my kids were going to grow up in the greatest nation in God's green earth, and that's the United States of America. I couldn't stand the thought that during my lifetime, when I was a young mother, the Supreme Court struck down all laws in all 50 states that protected both mothers and unborn babies from abortion. Up until for almost 200 years, we had strict laws in this country that protected babies. Some of you may not know that because you're growing up with a very liberal law. We have the most liberal law in the whole world. There's no country that matches how liberal our abortion law is. It's legal not just for 3 months, not just for 6 months. It's legal up to the moment of live birth to abort a baby for any reason. And that's why we have over 1 million babies a year dying by abortion. I couldn't stand the thought my kids were going to grow up with a country that did this. When I knew I grew up and I'm adopted, and that's because somebody cared enough to give me the gift of life and make a plan for me so that I could have a life. And so too for my brothers. And now, so too for my kids. So I started working with agencies. I started working in politics. I was doing everything I can. And then one day I was working with an agency trying to help women with problem pregnancies, and I realized that they didn't know we had all these agencies. In fact, there's over 3,000 agencies in the United States of America that will give free, confidential counseling and help to people who are pregnant and need help of any kind, whether it's medical services or just personal counseling to get over it so they can know what their options are, whatever it is, including adoption. So we decided we were going to put up big signs, and we started out as Prolife Minnesota back in 1989 in my living room with one other couple that paired up with my husband and I. And little did we know that people would reach in their pockets, pro-life people from not just Minnesota. Pretty soon we had people from Wisconsin and Seattle, Washington saying, can't you bring these billboards to our area? And so we expanded. Within 10 years, we changed our name to Prolife Across America. We now put up over 8,500, this year we dropped, our donations are down about 20%. So this year we hope to do 7,500 billboards in 1 year. And how many here have seen the billboards? And if you notice, there's a hotline number on every one of the billboards. Now kids don't even need to see the number, or people, adults, because all they need to do is text Pro-Life Across America and we come up. And they call us for help. We have a hotline that rings. I have someone in our office right now answering so I can be here. We have trained people to help them. We have a book that's like a telephone book that's so thick. We work with pro-life agencies across the United States. So if someone calls us from Seattle, someone calls us from New Jersey, someone calls us from Hamilton, Minnesota, wherever it is, whether it's Minnesota or across the United States, we've even had calls from Canada and South America asking for help. We have the contact that we can get them the help that they need right in their own area. So that's what I do in my spare time. Now that my kids are older, they're even donating to our organization, and I have 3 or 4 of my kids now working part-time or from at home. They're at-home moms working for us. One built our web page for us, another one runs it. Check out our Facebook every day, because sometimes when we get real hard cases, we'll put on Facebook, please pray for, and we'll create a name. We don't give the real name. Someone who called and is being pressured by her parents or her boyfriend to have an abortion or whatever. So we hope you'll check us out and pray with us for these people who really do want to do the right thing and are maybe being pressured to have an abortion and not have a choice or not be able to get pro-life counseling and help. So that's what I do in my spare time. By the way, I'm a grandma too. So I love being a grandma. I love being a mother. Some days I want to run away from home. One time one of my kids said, this place is so strict. You and all your rules, I want to run away from home. I said, you can go anytime you want, but go naked, because I own everything. So. I shouldn't tell you that. I've done enough speaking, because I didn't know I was going to do it. Does anybody have any questions about me or about Pro-Life Across America or what we do? By the way, I receive no salary. This is going on our 30th year, and my husband and I see this as a mission. So I do not receive a salary for what I do, and my salary I hope will come later. Right, Deacon, if we play our cards right, pay attention to the catechism. Questions, please. Don't be afraid. There's not much I haven't been asked. Yes?
How does Catholic education help you? How can Catholic schools help what you're doing? And how do you see us benefiting?
The first thing to do is pray. I'm absolutely firmly convinced we need lots of money. If someone here, you kids, if you're hiding out on me and you've got $1 million, I'll split it with Father. But we can use $1 million. But I am convinced right now, as I mentioned, our funds are so low. We do not have campaigns in some areas, and we've always had a fall campaign in 44 states, and we had to not do it in many areas now because we just don't have the funds. But I'm convinced prayer is a keynote thing that will help us most. So if you could even remember to pray every time you see a billboard, or every time you think of us, or check out Facebook or whatever. Once in a while, I'll get a phone call on our hotline, and a very shaky voice on the other end will say, I'm scheduled for an abortion, but something made me call you instead. And I always think that something is because somebody out there is praying that the next person that was thinking of abortion would call our hotline, or would call for help, would get help. So prayer is number 1. Number 2, we have kids as young as kindergarten doing fundraisers for us. Everything car washes, to golf tournaments, to runs, marathon runs, whatever it is. And they'll name, ask pennies during a mass time or whatever. We love to have speak at all your masses or have someone come or just take it. I don't even like second collections. Sometimes people will give a second collection and they won't give us their name and address, and we want to beg them for more later on or whatever. Whatever works. Young people are so enthusiastic. I'm convinced that this movement, if you ever go, one time my son, before I became a priest, the rector of the seminary took a busload of kids and they went down to the Appalachian Mountains and worked with the poor people there. And then they went from there to Washington, D.C. to march in the Respect Life March. January 22nd is the anniversary of the Supreme Court decision. So every year, thousands and thousands and thousands of people go to march at the rally in Washington, D.C. So my son went there and I said, so are you going to tell me you saw a bunch of little ladies in tennis shoes with rosaries walking around the mall at the Capitol? And he said, Mom, are you kidding? These are all young people. He said, they're college, they're young adults, some are high school. He said, the young people are so enthusiastic, and I'm convinced you are. Sometimes people will call and they'll say, I'm a brother, my younger sister is pregnant, and I don't want her to go through this because I had a girlfriend that did before, a friend in school that went through abortion, and she's never gotten over it. I think that's why young people are so enthusiastic, because they know personally somebody who is so hurt or can't get over the hurt. We hear from people who had abortions as long ago as 35 years ago, and are still hurting because of it. We've helped people who were suicidal because of previous abortions. That's the wonderful thing about being Catholic. You and I know about God's love and God's forgiveness. We even put confessionals right here in our church so we know where we can go to talk to and get forgiveness for our sins. But just imagine the hurt of people who don't know the love of God and the mercy and forgiveness of God. Yes?
What is the minimum age, would you say, to talk to your children? I know that I think it's your grandchildren that do the ads.
Yes.
Like, my heart was beating at 18 days. I think, teaching them about their life, but as far as abortion goes, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't think there's a really... It's funny, I had 13 kids and I never sat down and told them exactly. In fact, one time I was, this is a story, I probably shouldn't tell so many stories, but one time I was at the debate a man who owned 3 abortion clinics up in the University of Duluth. And I think I just wanted to get out of the house so bad that I said I'd do it. It was winter time, dead of winter. My friend drove me up there. I was so nervous, so scared. This guy owned 3 abortion clinics. He flew up there. I didn't know he owned his own plane. And he flew up there and he has this full-length fur coat, and I'm just sitting here with my friend. Anyways, but to prepare for this debate, by the way, I got creamed because I forget that if you can kill babies, you can sure lie. So this guy lied, just terrible. But anyway, they always make it look like it's just a tissue, it's nothing, it's not a baby. Of course it's formed. It's got fingerprints by 9 weeks at the heartbeat, 18 days after conception. The baby can move, the baby is fully developed, but needs the inside of the mommy. It's 40 weeks for pregnancy. The baby's fully formed by 10 weeks, but needs nutrition and oxygen in order to develop to that 40th week. So I'm preparing for this debate before I go up, and the kids are wild. It's too cold to throw them outside and say go outside and play. So they're all running around the house, and I'm trying to find a corner. You can't even go in the bathroom to study because the bathroom, you never know who needs it. It's always an emergency. So I'm in the corner, way in the corner, I'm looking through a book, and we had just adopted our son Charlie, who didn't speak a word of English. He came from a war-torn country in Vietnam. In fact, we had to get a tutor to teach him English. He said, I saw dead bodies at night, but the angels would come and pick them up later. So the poor kid had seen quite a bit. So here I am in the corner, I'm studying about abortion. None of my kids really, Charlie didn't know anything about what I do in my spare time with this pro-life issue. And I said, boy, go downstairs, don't make so much noise, I'm trying to study. And he looks at his brother Tim, who looked like he'd been swimming in highlights next to Charlie, who was black. And he says, what's mom got to study for? She doesn't need to go to school, and she's just a mom. And Tim says, well, I don't know, maybe it's for abortion. And Charlie says, abortion? What's abortion? And Tim says, I don't know, but mom's against it. And he says, I think it's when the mom's having a baby and she can't have the baby or doesn't want it, so she has to get rid of it. And Charlie's got big black eyes. Whoa, how does he do that? And Tim says, I think they take a big sword and cut the baby out. Well, I'm thinking, oh, this is kind of gruesome, but I don't care what he tells the kid. I want to finish my studies, so I'm going to stay in the corner. Pretty soon, I'm in the corner and I'm trying to read all these statistics, thinking that's going to help me in this debate. And all of a sudden, I see these little black face and these big black eyes coming towards me, and I put my book down and say, all right, Charlie, what is it you want? And he says, I just want you to know, I'm glad I wasn't born in your country, or they would have got me too. I had never thought of that. But it hit him at a very young age that a child can be destroyed because he doesn't have the love of parents or whatever. And here he's thinking, comparing his war-torn country, he's glad he was born there instead of American. I thought, nope, I'm going to keep on fighting. I don't care if I get creamed in this debate or not. Nope, doesn't matter, because God will help us with this. So we'll do everything we can. We need to be living witnesses. All of you need to be walking billboards. Someone is going to come up to you someday. I promise you it will happen. A friend. Maybe someone that's not really a friend, but for some reason they trust you. And they want to confide in you and tell you, maybe they're going to tell you they're going to get intimate with somebody and they're not married. That's not your time to say it's your choice. It's your time to say don't do it. Because it's not good for you, but a baby could result. Or someone may come up to you and confide to one of you young people someday. Maybe it happened in high school, maybe it happened in your college years. I'm pregnant. What should I do? The worst advice is to say the choice is up to you. The best advice is say, whatever you do, I want to help you through it. I know a number. You can at least sit down and find out what your options are. And it's confidential. You call us, call Prolife across America, call an agency that you know, there's a lot of them right here in our area. But you can be lifesavers yourself just by what you stand for. I had a young person call and say, gee, she's not even my friend. I don't know why she confided this to me. And I thought, you know why? Because she knows you're a person of honor and a person of faith, and she trusts that you'll really give her help. So that's, in a nutshell, as far as when to tell your children, each kid develops at an early age. I don't think details are as important as letting them know that some children, and out of panic, I've been doing this for so many years, I've never met a woman, and I've worked with lots of women who've had abortions. I've never met one who said, I'm glad I had an abortion. I wanted an abortion. Most will tell you their story on how they felt pressure, how they felt it was their only option, how they were scared to death, but because their parents would be upset with them, or their boyfriend, or their husband. Their husband. Let me give you just a few statistics. The average age of a woman who gets an abortion is between the ages of 19 and 26. 1/3 of them are married. There's nothing wrong with the baby, and it's not a question of finances. 1/3 are married. You know, there's a psychological thing that happens in the United States of America. When we legalize something, it becomes okay in people's minds. So 1/3 are married. Well, I don't know if I want this baby now. Maybe we'll just wait till we have a house. I had a girl who called me at Christmas time to tell me that. She's married. They were building a brand new house out in Coon Rapids. And it just would be inconvenient to have this baby right now. So she was going to have an abortion. Those are the reasons. 1/3 are married. 1/3 claim a religious affiliation. And by the way, I hate to say this, Catholics have abortions as high a rate as Christians, as Jews, as Muslims, not even as Muslims. So we Catholics, and people say, why do you go to Catholic churches and speak? Because we're just as vulnerable to Satan and the evils of abortion as the people out there. 50% of all abortions are repeats, people who've been through it before. That's probably the most shocking thing that happens to people who come to my office to train to be counselors on the phone, is to know that when you pick up the phone, you might hear a girl say, well, I've already had 1, or 2, or 3, or 4. I've had a woman who said she had 7 abortions. I had a woman who said she had 11. I had a woman who called me and said, I want to kill myself, but I saw your ad, and I felt by the tenderness of your ad, you might help me too. I said, how many abortions did you have? She said, I don't know. I just kept getting pregnant, and he kept telling me to have the abortions. And I kept She worked in a dog kennel, and she said that's all I feel fit for. She wanted to end her life. By the way, and here we go back again with someone who doesn't know God and doesn't know about God's mercy and God's forgiveness. So luckily, she called us and we could get her the counseling and the help that she needed, so she didn't go through with the suicide. So 50% of abortions now repeats. Here's the most shocking thing, at least from my end of it. When we started Prolife across America 29 years ago, little did we realize that 40% of the calls to our hotline are men. You guys here today, I love men. In fact, one of the counselors that works with me said, she says, you really hold them up in such high estimation. Men have gotten such a short shift in this feminist, pro-abortion society. Men are natural providers and protectors. They really, really do want to love women in the right way and provide for them and protect them. We've had fathers of pregnant girls call and say, my divorced wife is pushing my daughter to have an abortion. I just don't feel it's right. What can I do? I had an uncle who called me. He said, my niece called me. She thinks because I have money, I'll pay for her abortion. I saw your billboard. I don't feel right about doing that. An uncle. He wanted to help. A brother. My sister's pregnant. She's so worried my mother and father will kill her. What can we do? I don't want to see my sister end up having an abortion. Men are natural providers and protectors. 40% of the calls to our hotline are for men. The reason why we do the billboards is that 90% of women who said they had an abortion, and by the way, this statistic comes from Planned Parenthood, their own research arm that they all knew Martin Society. 90% of the women who said they had an abortion said they did it to please or protect someone else. In other words, it wasn't their decision, their wish. It's because their boyfriend, their husband, their parents, the school counselor, the people around them encourage them to have the abortion. 90%. And that's why we put up the big ads to make them stop and think. And that's why we don't address just the pregnant women. We address the men, the other people who are there. I had a trucker who called one day and says, hey lady, I'm driving a semi heading up on 35W and I just saw this big sign in Forest Lake. Is it true? I said, well, I don't know. What did it say on the sign? He said, it says the kid has a heartbeat at 18 days. My girl's pregnant. I told her to get rid of it, take care of it. I'm not ready for this. I said, well, now you know your baby already has a beating heart. I bet you're going to be a real man. I took a chance. I said, I bet you're going to be a real man and help her. Long pause. I could hear the wheels of this semi turning. And he said, yes, I am. He was so shocked. He didn't know. He didn't know. He was a real man. He's a real man driving a truck. He doesn't want to tell her to end his baby and her baby's life. But he didn't know. And all you have to do is encourage him. So, I can give you story after story, and then sorry I'm talking too much. Any other questions? You probably have to get to class. Yes?
Do you guys have any programs at colleges?
Do we have programs in colleges? There is a Students for Life group. It's not attached to us. But there are young Students for Life groups, and then there's 40 Days for Life. But Students for Life, we've been to colleges and spoken there, and you need them. Some of the secular colleges especially, because they urge you right in for their sex ed classes, which are filthy, terrible. Just plug your ears and walk out, and say a prayer for all of them. Really. You talk about purgatory, they're lucky if they make it. But anyway.
Students who like it also in high school too.
Oh, in high school too, right.
In high school too.
Right.
The woman who heads it is from Minnesota, I think, isn't she? Kristen Hawkins? No, Ian Hawkins. I know there's one that is about sex trafficking, and they kind of have almost the same name.
Are you talking about a speaker?
No, the one that started Students for Life. I think.
Oh, Students for Life. I don't know this. Yeah, I don't know. Am I moving around too much, honey?
No.
You don't
He
mind
knows
that?
who it is.
I like
Yeah,
to
who's
call
the
everybody
person that
honey.
was
No, I don't. I had another question.
Okay, any other questions? Yes.
Our theme for the banquet this year is be thou an example of believers being speech and thought and charity. And so one of the things we're trying to do for these kids is train them up in a way so that they can figure out what is their billboard campaign, what is their call in life of what God wants them to do to make a difference. And I wondered if you had any words of advice for them on how to figure that out, as you did.
Well, I didn't figure it out. I was scared to death. Yeah. I was such a mixed up kid. I didn't want to get married when I was a kid. wanted to see the world, have a convertible and see the world. That's the honest truth. I loved kids, I loved babysitting, but I didn't want to be tied down with a bunch of brats. I wanted to see the world. I lied to you guys, but I might as well tell you the truth. I love my parents, but they fought so bitterly, I thought, come on, I don't want to get into that. My mom says everybody fights. Well, if everybody fights, then I don't want to be part of that. I think I'll just either be a nun or a stewardess. Now, does that sound like a mixed up again? I'm going to be a nun or a stewardess. No in-betweens here. So, but one thing I did, and the best advice I give any of you, guys or girls, is to ask the Blessed Mother. Ask the Blessed. I didn't know what to do. I dated. I loved guys, so I started dating, and they were all losers, you know. I'm telling you. I had as much brains, but so I thought, I'm going to get mixed up here. This is going to be a bad deal. So I think what I'll do is pray to the Blessed Mother. I knew I should marry someone of my faith. I just knew it because it just made sense to me. So I thought, I'm going to pray to the Blessed Mother every day, 3 Hail Marys a day, that if I'm supposed to get married, which I didn't want to do, if I'm supposed to get married, that she will find me a good Catholic man. That's all I ask, a good Catholic man. 3 Hail Marys a day. So you guys and you girls, that would be what I would ask, is be open to what God is calling me to do. I never dreamed in my wildest dreams that I would be married. In fact, when I went back to my high school reunion, everybody, the first time I went back, I went to an all-girls Catholic school, and I was kind of fun-loving and had a good time. But some of my classmates teased me and said, "You're married with kids?" And we couldn't believe it because I said, "Oh, that's not for me." I did buy my convertible before I worked, and I got my convertible, and I drove to California with a girlfriend, and came back and married my sweetheart, who's been my best friend and husband ever since. But at any rate, so be open to God. Ask God. But the Blessed Mother, and you guys, St. Joseph, he can't be outdone. He just can't be outdone. He's the patron of families, the patron of men, the patron of workers, patron of fathers. You can't go wrong. Blessed Mother, St. Joseph. That would be my mantra. Be open to God. Whatever you have in mind, he's got a better plan. Yes?
What do you think is the best way that Holy Spirit Academy high school students could get involved with Pro-Life across America?
What is the best way to get involved with Pro-Life? You know what? Really a fundraiser would be great. Or speak for us. A fundraiser would be fun. I'd love to send, there's a gal in our area, Michelle Steele. I don't know, anybody know Steele?
Yeah.
Michelle speaks for us. Have you had her here?
She's visiting the school.
Okay, all right. Well, I was going to say, she speaks to the young people. I usually don't, I can't relate to you. So, I'm teasing. But, and as I say, sometimes fundraisers, even the bake sale, our church does an annual bake sale. And it's a lot of work because now the parents have to help. You know, what my grandson doesn't want to bake cookies. But my daughter forced him to. And then they sell them. And they time when they're going to have their bake sale. So it's when the parents have to come and look at the grade school kids' science project or whatever it is. Perfect opportunity because people coming through there, they might not necessarily know what Pro-Life Across America is all about. They may not know the development of the baby. But don't just have the bake sale there. Have some material from Pro-Life Across America. We'll give you the fetal model so you have them here. I'm not kidding. I have been in the back of churches speaking. And I always have my little display table, and we always have the fetal models there for people to come and see afterwards. And I tell them, people bring your kids so they can see how developed they were before, before they were born. And I mean, I've heard people pull their kid away. One little kid says, "I want to go see the baby she was talking about." I heard another say, "Those aren't babies. Come with me." So we need to don't think that everybody that's coming through a bake sale in the Catholic Church is with us on Pro-Life. We need to pray for our neighbors, pray for the people that, even within our own church. And a lot of it is ignorance or because they themselves know someone and they've been neutralized in this situation where they know someone who out of panic chose abortion and maybe they helped that person and now they're so panicked. I had a man who called at Christmas time and he said, "I haven't set foot in a church in 10 years. But I accidentally turned on Catholic radio by mistake and I heard your ad." And he said, "It reminded me of why I haven't been in the church in 10 years. Because I paid for 2 abortions 10 years ago and I've never set foot in a church since then." But he said, "I'm getting on in life and I'm hearing this Christmas music and I'd like to make amends with God. But he said, I feel like I need more. It turned out he was Catholic, former Catholic. And he said, I feel like I need more than confession. And I said, there actually is a men's support group now. And so that's for those who, for some reason, were involved with abortion or paid for abortion or whatever. There's also women's support groups too. So, but as for young people, yeah, any fundraising thing you can come across, and even as I say, marathon runs. There's a lot of times there's marathon things, and people, you put it on your back, or sometimes they'll put our, I wish I would have brought my calendars, I've got them out in the car, but I'd be happy to give you some. But they'll put some of our billboards, they'll cut off the calendar, the big, the billboard, and run with it or something. So I won't even give you all the suggestions, because you young people have got more creative energy and thoughts than I do. So, is our time up?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, time is up, Mr. Langston. Thank you.
Just before we dismiss for class, I want to briefly invite Mrs. Bolshar up to give an update on the Harvest Banquet. Come on up.
So we're only 2 weeks away, and the banquet is here. So we really need your prayers right now for registered guests. We have a goal of 400. Mary, do you know what we're at right now?
I think it was 187 this week.
Okay, so.
We're about 200.
Or 200. Okay, so everyone's prayer, and use whatever your favorite saints that you want. 200 more people. That's our goal. We want 400 people there. We want this message of Holy Spirit Academy. We want the message that Mary Ann has to share to go out to all of them. So please, please, please just storm the heavens for 200 more people. That's our goal, okay? Everything is going really well. I just want to make sure that you students have an opportunity to ask me any questions that you might have about the Harvest Banquet. Make sure that you and your parents have all checked the sign-up genius, okay? Every role that we need filled is on there. And there's probably actually roles that we need filled that aren't even on the sign-up sheet. So please take an opportunity to see that. You know, we need you in the coat check. We're going to need you at the doors greeting. We're going to need you on your best behavior. I know you've all been working so hard with Mrs. Gills, and I'm so excited to hear you sing. She's told me all the songs that you guys are going to be singing, and I'm just so excited to showcase you, and I hope that you're excited as well. Next week, we're going to be sending home, I see your hand,